Okay. Welcome back, Nikolai. This Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 1272. And Doubleshot number 1166. I got 2 Marvel trades. One is collecting a mini-series. The other is second half of an ongoing series. First up is Star! Birth of a Dragon. Yep. The brand new character, this is a spin-off of Captain Marvel, believe it or not. And yes, Captain Marvel herself, aka Carol Danvers, does appear in the series. Yes. Now, the thing with this series is, by the way, this is only 5 issues, and this is published alongside the main series. This mostly takes place just after the events of Captain Marvel, the recent volume, issue 11, and probably just before the last Avenger. Yep. Now, in this miniseries, we have Ripley Ryan. That's her name. She's a reporter. By the way, she's also the host of the Reality Stone. And apparently someone's trying to kill her. So she goes visit Jessica Jones. Yep, Jessica Jones. Which I'm thinking, okay, where the heck is her husband or her adorable baby? Who knows? And then, of course, she meets the Scarlet Witch, which I thought this was cool. The Scarlet Witch meeting Star. Both women who have the ability to alter reality. Interesting. And these two hang out with each other throughout the first half of this miniseries before Carol Danvers shows up. It's like, wait, this is a sit-up. And basically, they start fighting. And basically, oh yes, it's said by Carol Danvers. Not only you try to kill me, you basically killed half of New York City. Okay, did they really confirm that? Like, okay, but this is Kelly Thompson, great this character, so of course she would write that. Yep, and then it's also doing here, oh yeah, the Black Order is back. Yes, the Black Order. The organization formed by Thanos, first appeared in the Ages of Infinity, who last appeared in not the current volume for Guardians of the Galaxy, but the previous volume for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was written by Danny Coates. Yeah, where they basically were sucked into a black hole. Do they bother to explain how the heck they escaped a black hole? Nope. They do not. Okay. And then, of course, they find out about Star. They fight her, and basically, like, Carol, of course, she knows them because she fought them in freaking Infinity. And then, basically, Star's like, you know them? Yeah. They call it the Black Order. They work for Thanos. Yep. The thing is, Black Order is doing their own thing now. They don't work for Thanos anymore. Yeah, Thanos has got no involvement with the Black Order. Probably because the man is dead. He's still dead. Though there was an attempt to bring him back in the Danny Coates series for Guardians. But, nope. He's still dead. He's been dead now for 3 years, surprisingly. And it is something, though, that he has not been resurrected. There was an attempt to resurrect him, Danny Coates' Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was botched. Yep. And after finding them, basically, well, Kramer's Club gets captured, and then, of course, Star makes a deal with the Black Order. Okay. Proxima. You want your husband back? Yeah? Okay. Let me get the Reality Stone and let me get away and I'll give you back your husband. You're like, okay. It's like, here you go. Oh yeah, it turns out though this tech was made by Black Swan. Yep, she's a member of the Black Order. And then she's like, okay, we're not going to punish you, but next time don't keep secrets from your family. Yep. And then of course she sort of disappears. She changes her attire where she's now got red hair. And she's doing her own thing, but who knows? I think it says, the end? Question mark. I got hands. This is actually a really good miniseries. For a character, basically, that was first appeared in Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel, it is interesting, though, they give her a miniseries right away as soon as they wrapped up her introductory arc. Yeah, which is basically called Falling Star. Yep, that seriously is the name of the arc. Falling Star, which basically was her debut. Mm-hmm. Oh, aside from Kelly Thompson doing the writing, also a brief flashback seeing Loki. Yes, Loki briefly appears in this miniseries. Now, the main artwork is done by Javier Pina. Yes, he does basically the main artwork. We'll also have two co-artists on here. We have, basically, for Moses miniseries, we have Felipe Andre, who does pretty much all 5 issues. Issue 4 is co-drawn by, basically, has like 3 artists in the issue. Jay Leston. The cover is by Carmen Carino and Jesus Arif. Yep. But this miniseries is actually really good. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. And it's kind of good the fact Marvel basically made this a miniseries. Because, excuse me, not every single character who gets a series, not every single one needs to be an ongoing. It's completely unnecessary. And I think Marvel learned this basically when they did Silk. Despite the Silk series being good, she didn't necessarily need one. But I liked her series. It was surprising her series was like, I think the reason why it ended when it did was because, well, I think Clone Conspiracy kind of ruined the sales for the series. And the fact they did kind of mostly wrap up the story by the series over with. Yep. Alright, moving on to Weapon H, Volume 2, War on Weirdworld. This collects the last 6 issues of this ongoing series. Issue 7 to 12, written by Greg Pak. Yes, Greg Pak, the creator of the character, writes this whole series. Of course he does. The artwork for the first issue is done by this trade is done by Ario Angintio, and the rest of it was done by Gau Venivia. The cover is done by Philip Tan and Romo Filera Jr. does 7 through 9 and 11 through 12. The 10th issue is definitely done by Philip Tan. He does all the issues in here. But this one is co-drawn by Moriarty Howell, who's the colorist these issues. Mostly put basically for the storyline. This is kind of in the way the end of the series. So basically, Weapon H is hired by the Minotaur of Raxxon, Dago Agner. He hires them to go to the Weirdworld and kill monsters. Though he agrees to this thanks to some urging from his childhood hero, Captain America. Yep, but he's not the only person in these issues, and not with the Minotaur. We also have Titania. Yep, the beautiful wife of Crusher Krill. Yep, she appears here too. Also, the Black Widow is here. Because of course she is. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else was this. Oh yeah, we also have Man-Thing, Korg. Korg is definitely a Greg Pak character. I'm glad the fact he brought him back to the series. Man-Thing is not a creation of his. That's a creation of Jerry Conway and the late. It's not Steve Ditko. It's a guy who co-created Howard the Duck. It's not Steve Dillon. I don't remember the guy's name. So they also encounter in these issues Morgan Le Fay, who is the ruler of Weirdworld. Yep, and it's interesting that we go back to Weirdworld, even though the ongoing series was canceled back in, I think it was like 2016, I think it was. This has probably been, at the time these issues came out, it had been like 2 years since Weirdworld ever been featured in a comic book. And how did they get to Weirdworld? Well, it was different than the actual ongoing series. They get there via a portal, and so go into there via the Bermuda Triangle. Why the heck they changed this for, I have no idea. But in the end, Dagner is basically, forced to give $10 million to about 5 people. Yes, not only Titania and also Weapon H. Of course, he's told, basically, request, don't harm any of my family, including her mother, and basically pay all people $10 million a piece, and you don't bother me ever again. Somewhat, anyways. And then we lead into, basically, the ending of this sets up the Hulk Marines miniseries. That's what next thing sets up here. These are a fun set of issues. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Final thoughts on the Weapon H ongoing series, despite the fact the story is not over yet because it continues Hulk Marines. It's a good series, but like I said in the last video, last time I discussed the first volume, The problem with the series was, and a lot of people really have this problem with this series, was that there's so much confusion with this series. Because, with the exception of one issue, this series was released every week alongside with Ron Venditti's Damage. Yes. Do not know why Marvel and DC did this. We released two series which are very similar the same week. There is no explanation for this at all. And because of this, this caused a lot of confusion. This is probably the reason why both series got canceled when they did. Yes. Though in the case of this arc, I would say this arc had nothing to do with what was going on in Damage at that point. Damage may last slightly longer than this. They would last like one more issue. I think that one ended after, I think it was like 15-ish, I think it was. This started just after Damage did. Though it ended just after Damage. Yeah. Though at least they ended the series on a high note. The series is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a great series. And I think Greg Pak does a great job writing it. It's just the problem was with the series was the marketing. Yes. Like, basically, Marvel and DC got people confused about Damage and Weapon H. Two characters who are very similar and have very similar issues come out the very same week. Case in point, Man-Thing versus Weapon H over DC Damage. Damage versus Swamp Thing. DC's version Man-Thing. Technically, Swamp Thing made his debut prior to Man-Thing. I keep forgetting the guy's name. The guy who created Man-Thing. I know it was Jerry Conway. He also created Howard the Duck as well. I mean, look him up. Is he... Let's see here. Okay. He was created by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, definitely Jerry Conway, and Gray Morrow. Oh yeah, Steve Gerber. He did work on the character, but I thought he created him, but nope, he did not, well, let's say create him. But mostly put, he's kind of in the way Marvel's version of Swamp Thing. Let's see, I'm going to look him up on here. Swamp Thing made his debut in July of 1971. This was in May, so Man-Thing predates Swamp Thing by at least 2 months when it comes to publication. Yeah. But Korg, if you're curious to when this guy first showed up, it was actually Planet Hulk. That was the first time he showed up. Yep, but they also had their monster in here. I think his name was Blake. But he wanted to turn back to human, but he basically got stuck being human because he liked it. Yep. But these two trades are good. I do recommend checking them out. But in the case of Weapon H, I would probably start off with Weapon X first. Like, basically they planted the seeds this series thanks to the, the first two major story arcs. You have the first arc, which is a prelude into the Weapons of Mutant Destruction crossover, the Hunt for Weapon H story arc, which came right afterwards, and then you have the series, and then concluded with Hulk Marines. Yep. Yeah, his most recent appearance was actually in War of the Realms Strike Force. Yeah, that was his last appearance to date. As far as I can tell, actually, no, I think it was, Let's see. Clay Cortez's last appearance. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, his last appearance to date was Absolute Carnage Weapon Plus #1. Yeah, that was his last appearance. But I will review the Hulk Marines in near future. I don't have the trade, but I'm probably going to get it soon. Okay? So yeah, that's it for single review. That's probably going to be it for videos today. So stay tuned for tomorrow for my reviews for 7 Deadly Sins and ReZero. Okay? Just next video. Bye.